Yep.
His rookie season here.
And he's going to be on the podium if he can hang on for another 5 laps.
And you see the yellow flag, that's a caution flag. The blue flag, that means that someone's getting lapped. Hepler, actually, see, that's Canary down once again at the top of your screen there.
Let's see what happened to Canary. He got stuck in that sand pit again.
Canary highlight reel number 2. As your leader goes by, Canary this time buries it on the outside line.
And how about the fact that James Stewart was in front of Canary when that happened? What if it's reversed?
It changes the whole deal, yeah.
That's the thing. When it's your year, your night, you get those breaks, if you will. You know, luck goes your way as well as the skill and the speed.
Well, and take a look at James Stewart here on lap 13. He was 5 seconds ahead. Now he's 7.1. So whether he's just gone out there and smoked Chad Reed, or Reed's going, okay, look, for the championship, when we're talking about points here, I can give up 3 tonight. It's important for me not to ride over my head. We don't know. Only the riders know. Okay, and the bottom line is right now, Stewart has taken command once again. He's on his way to 25 points. Reed is looking like he's going to come home with 22. That's 3. That brings the points down to 8.
Jeff, points are one thing now. You know, as you said, it's 8. Okay. The mental game in this sport is such a huge deal. Big momentum shift here because they were heads up.
All about momentum. And I mean, Stewart's had some unfortunate accidents here in the last couple of weeks. You know, once again, it's looking like if he keeps this thing on 2 wheels, that 100% ratio of winning, if he doesn't fall, you know, is still intact. And I'm really impressed with James because I can't explain to you guys, you know, at least from the outside looking in, from my perspective, how much pressure would be on James's shoulders after a disastrous Daytona Supercross, and what it takes for a rider mentally to put that behind him and work forward and come out and perform. You know, just incredible tonight. That's something that very few men can do, and that's why James Stewart is the legendary rider that, you know, midway through his career here that he is because he can deal with that.
Yep, he sure can. And we also know that Chad Reed never gives up. And that's what's going to make this championship so interesting as we go all the way to Vegas.
Yeah, and it really has been, you know, the tortoise and the hare type of thing where Chad's Mr. Consistent, James is all out speed but makes some mistakes, you know, has some falls and some crashes along the way. So, I mean, we're going to have to go all the way down to Vegas to find out which one of those, you know,
good.
Which one, yeah.
I'm glad we are. And it's going to be fun. And as you're going to see the points as of now, as Jeff said, the swing is 3. So 8 will be the difference. And guess what? Once again, 100% of the time, when James Stewart does not crash, he's going to win.
Yeah, and you looked at those points there, you know that.
Oh, trouble for Millsaps there. And what happened there?
Well, guys, Davey Millsaps has had one heck of a day. He even crashed earlier during practice, and he tweaked his right knee, but also he damaged the nerve in that leg and caused a condition, a symptom called drop foot, basically immobilizing his right leg. So he's really out there trying to ride through everything he can with adrenaline.
Well, James Stewart has done it. He needed to light the candles once again, and he does. The checkered flag flies, and so does the big pyro show as James Stewart wins here in the Superdome. Chad Reed comes home in second. Brock Hepler's going to take the checkers in third.
I'm telling you, Chad Reed did not look happy about that second when he pulled some tear-offs.
No, he did not. There's Hepler, happy to be going to the podium, and Kevin Windham, in front of the hometown crowd with a nice inspired ride, comes home in fourth. These two championship titans are going to take this battle on again next week in St. Louis. The goggles going to the grandstands, and they're both going to the podium.
Well, James Stewart definitely proved to us that he was the fastest rider. Whew.
Well, we'll hear what they both have to say when speed comes back to the Superdome. Let's show you the results from the main. Hey, good to hear we're seeing down there in Honduras. A lot of Supercross fans currently down there.
They love Stewart.
Yeah. Why not? Boy, after a performance like that tonight, James Stewart shows why he has such a huge fan base as he comes out and just really unleashes a James Stewart-esque performance here tonight, all the way around. Let's check in with Aaron.
James Stewart was back on track tonight, and there was definitely no room for error. James, talk about how much pressure was on your shoulders coming into tonight's race after the weekend from last weekend.
Well, it's always pressure, and I held it pretty good. Chad was running awesome all day, and I knew it's kind of like Phoenix. You gotta win when it counts, and I was able to do that tonight. So just want to thank Samuel, Yamaha, and Segura, Red Bull, Oakley, Alpine Star, Bell Helmets, everybody, Nike, and it was a good night. No excuses tonight.
Hey, you'd never raced here ever before in New Orleans. Congratulations on adding this one to the record book.
Good to see that $1 million smile back, and he might be smiling real big when we get to Las Vegas, Sam Boyd Stadium. That's where Chad and James will finally decide who's going to be the champ here this year. We'll be there. Speed will be there that first weekend in May. We sure hope you can join us there in Las Vegas. It's going to be a wild night in Sam Boyd Stadium. Here's the points. 8 the difference between Chad Reed and James Stewart. But Brock Hepler, who has not run the whole season, put on another great performance tonight, Aaron.
Most definitely did. His best Supercross career finish thus far was a 5th place, and he excelled that tonight with a 3rd. Brock, at the beginning of the season when you came back from injury, you said you were going to have to race your way back into shape. Would you say you're at your optimal fitness now?
Yeah, I think everything's improving as we go along, but without the help of Yamaha, Factory Effects, Tag, Bridgestone, Shift, everyone's doing a great job. We're improving every week, so I look forward to trying to get back on the box again.
Congratulations on your first podium.
SpeedTV.com has the most comprehensive.
Well, Chad Reed had mentioned earlier this afternoon that he wanted the chance to race bar to bar with James Stewart. And Chad, you got that opportunity tonight. Where was he gaining a little bit more ground on you?
It was difficult to pass tonight, follow, should I say, and he just ate me alive, in the sand, and he was doing that jump over there, and I saw him do it the last lap of the heat race, and we had press day this week, and I was looking at it, and I was actually going to go for it in the main event, and he pulled the trigger before me, so that was cool, I think I was happy that I did that. It was a lot faster, and I don't know, I'm kind of frustrated. What can you say? I have my whole family over here, and I don't feel like I rode that great, but he rode a great race. Hats off to him.